Rodeo has a power steering leak. Go underneath the engine, with it running. I took the plate that goes here off and come over here to where the power steering changes direction. Goes down to this input shaft. And at this input shaft, look for a leak right in there. I took off the plastic washer or dust cover that was holding on top of this piece. And what happens is mine's actually oozing out right here and dripping down into here, down onto that screw, and then onto this metal piece, and then down out the back. But now I have the metal piece off, I can see this better. So now the engine's off, you can hear me better, but basically you can see the drip. Drips down to that screw. You see a little droplet right on the back. It's about to drip right now. Boop. There it is, onto the floor. So it's coming out of right there, how that shaft is. Right there, center of the screen where the shaft is. It's dripping down to where that little indentation on the aluminum is, back to that screw, which is an 11 millimeter, I think, or a 12. So what we're gonna do is take out these two hard pipes here. That screw, the one above it, and then there's two hard lines that come from the pump right over here. We're gonna take those two off, take off the steering knuckle, and then replace the seal inside of there. I got my new seal kit. Lots of different seals it comes with, little O-rings. I'm probably gonna be using this one, that one, and this one, just because I'm rebuilding just this area here. I'm not gonna get into the outside seals. So let's rip it apart. All right, so next step, we're gonna take off the bolt that's holding this bracket. It's a 10 millimeter, right back there. So we'll get that guy off. Then we're gonna come over here, take off these two hard lines, which go right to the rack and pinion, right there. And then we got two more hard lines right over here that we gotta get off. Then we'll take off this 10 millimeter up here, the 10 millimeter right in there, and then this housing will basically be loose. And we also need to take off this screw right here and this one right here. So let's get that done. 10 millimeter is out. Next thing, we're gonna take off this bolt, which is a 12. We're gonna take off this guy here so we can get this whole knuckle assembly loosened. It's also gonna be a 12 up here. Then we're gonna loosen one bolt here, and there's a one that comes in from the other side. Over here, we're gonna loosen these up and get this loose so we can separate it and pull this guy off. All right, 14 millimeter here loosened up, taking the nut off the opposite side. The nut was here. Loosen up these two 14s, took them out. So now this will be loose. There is a shim that sits in here, so don't forget to put that back. So now this is loose. We should be able to get this knuckle apart. We're gonna have to pry it apart. Take these two apart, take these two apart. And then we can take off this housing. We've already loosened up these two 12 millimeters and get inside here where our leak is. After we get that off, we can just rest that here. All right. Next, we're gonna get those two off there, which is a 12 millimeter. fluid come out after this, so get ready with your rag. And then we're gonna get over here to these two hard lines. Looking straight down to the side of the radiator here, you can see where my, it's hard to see. You see right down there, that bolt, 10 millimeter, it holds the two lines that go to the top of the pump. One right there, and the back one's not going to come off unless you take this screw out here. So 10 millimeter on a super long socket. I'll take that out for you, and then the lines will move. So then I got the front line out, as you see here. The back line's coming out now, and that screw holds a bracket right there. So this bolt is out. These two are disconnected. Lots of fluid comes out with those. The bolt up here on the frame is out that holds these two top lines. These two top lines are out. That screw is loose. This one's loose. Now we can move this off. Get ready for some fluid to come out. All right, so the two hard hoses that go this way, you're gonna need to take off 1 and 2 of those 12 millimeters to get those hard lines out. And you got this, I took off that piece, which I had to pry it off a little bit. Behind that is the gasket, which we'll be replacing. And then there's those 4 seals there, and that main seal right here. So let's replace those and get back together. All right, so when you look in yours, you're gonna have your seal on the outside. It's gonna be a little higher than this one. And you're gonna have a bearing behind it, you see here. That's how yours is gonna look. Flip it over. I'm using a 19 mil socket. Put it there. Dead blow hammer. I already got mine loose. Seal and bearing. So now we're gonna get our new seal. So our new seal. Spring piece, as you see there, is gonna go in, so it's gonna come in this way, in the back. So we're gonna put our seal in. Clean that out a little bit with some brake cleaner. All right, so that new seal is down in there. Taking a 1 inch. All right, that's all seated in, new seal. Bearings back inside. Now I'm gonna change the seals on the actual shaft itself. Alright, these guys here come in your rebuild kit. They go here. I've already put the first one on. We're going to take their other 3 off. What I'm doing is using just a little ice pick piece to kind of get in there and crack them apart, and then slide these new ones on and over. All those O-rings are on now. We're going to clean up that surface, get off that old gasket, put the new gasket on, and then slide this guy back on. Alright, so after you get those 4 blue pieces in here, you've got your gasket that you already put on here. Line this up, slowly push it over your blue pieces, and then get these 2 bolts put in. This top one and this bottom one. Get a few threads started, and you can screw it on, and it pulls it onto the back piece that stays on the car. It'll actually like seat it on there for you. So you can see our new gasket in the front. So we're all good. Now we're gonna start installing our lines. Make sure you got your new O-rings on there. If you move these pieces around, back and forth, clean them with a little brake cleaner and put some WD-40, they will spin by hand, so it's a lot easier to put them together. Rust will form underneath here, will make some really stiff, so that's a good little tip. It'll help you out a lot. So we're gonna get these lines put together now, and we'll get the top ones, which are lots of fun, and then we're gonna put this knuckle back together and mount that back to the frame. Got those 2 hard lines on, got them connected to the rack and pinion, got the 2 hard lines in the back on, got this rubber gasket that your seal kit comes with. Now we're gonna get this knuckle put on, and then we'll go from there with tightening up this piece. All right, so this is our end result here. Tighten everything up, clean everything up with brake cleaner, got that new black seal on there. Obviously the new seals we already put in, everything's tight. Got all those back in. It was quite hard to show that. Don't forget the small bracket in here that holds that one hard line down, because we didn't take that off. Got this guy back in, this one little screw right there. Thanks for watching.